Okay, is Renard done now? It looks like they pulled him. I will make sure to get to the bottom of this postgame, everybody, and talk to Jacob and Kyle about it and have it in the postgame interview that you can find on Twitter, because right now I'm very confused. Both Jacob Hernandez and Clayton Taylor, who are both pitchers up here, are also confused by what's occurring. As Jacob's going to text a buddy on the team and see what's going on. This is very bizarre. He wasn't throwing bad, was Grace. He only gave up 1 run in 2 innings, and he was on the mound ready to go for the third and ended up having to leave. This is very interesting, folks. I'm sorry I don't have more information. When we try to get more, if we do have more, I'll let you know as soon as I do. As Jacob Hernandez is on the case for us to try to get to the bottom of what is occurring. The new pitcher for the Doolers is Ethan Vandermint from Bossier City Community College. He'll come out of the bullpen probably earlier than Jacob Snyder would have liked. So the final line for Renard Grace: 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 32 pitches, 22 for strikes. As Jacob Hernandez has figured it out. Shoulder soreness for Renard Grace. That was why he was pulled. Especially in summer ball, always want to be extra cautious with things like that pop up. Hopefully everything's okay with Renard. But according to Jacob's investigative reporting, it's shoulder soreness for Grace, and Ethan Vandermint will take over. He will get his time to warm up and is throwing his warm-up pitches. Vandermint on the season: 5 appearances, 5 2/3 innings work, 3 hits, 4 runs, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts, and an ERA of 6.35 for Ethan Vandermint. First batter he faces is the 9-hole hitter, Sean Sullivan. First pitch, off the inside corner, ball 1. The 1-0. Squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes a pitch a little upstairs, apparently, maybe outside. Ball 2. 2-0 to Sean Sullivan, the center fielder. Leadoff man on deck, Ren Tachioka. The 2-0 is lined to left, well foul. End of the party deck. It's 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. To the 9-hole hitter, Sean Sullivan. Now Sullivan's in the box. The 2-1. Off the outside corner and low. 3 balls and 1 strike from Ethan Vandermint to Sean Sullivan. Your score: Hoppers 1, Doolers nothing. Top of inning number 3. Vandy gets the sign. Here's the next pitch. Way high, and that's ball 4. A leadoff walk for Sean Sullivan, as he ran to first like he thought he swung. That was interesting. That was indeed ball 4, right, boys? Yes, that was ball 4. On a pass ball, yeah, I guess that's a good point. Since it is a pass ball and Rao, you will run to first. He made it with ease as the ball was all the way back to the backstop. So a man is on first. No one down, excuse me, for Ren Tachioka now. Lineup flips over. First up out of the day for Ren. Led off the game with a walk against Renard Grace. The pitch. Low ball one. Hoppers coming into this one, 7-6 record off of a loss against Fulton last time out, 9-6 the score in that one. The Doolers at 9-4 and second in the OVL South Division, a game and a half behind the full count rhythm. Next pitch is off the outside corner, 2-0. Last night a 6-2 loss in Huntingburg at Du Bois County. Doolers home again tomorrow night, 7:05 against Muhlenberg. Jacob Hernandez on the mound in that one. Throw to first, it gets by Castle and all the way down the line. Around second, heading to third is Sean Sullivan. Castle will finally pick the ball up, and all the way to third, standing up is Sean Sullivan with nobody out. And Tachioka ahead in the count as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Time is called. Tachioka steps out of the box and now back in. The next one, away ball 3, 3-0. So far, Vandermint 6 pitches, only 1 for a strike. The 3-0. Swinging, and that's down the line and left. A nice play over there by Musrock. I think he dropped it on the transfer. They say no catch? I don't think that's a possibility. I'm sorry, but Jackson Musrock caught the ball and then dropped it on the transfer, and Michael Holman says he didn't catch it. And now Ren Tachioka is standing on first base. Michael will now have a conversation with his field umpire, C.J. Davis, and see if something has changed. Wow. As the two of them are talking to the left of the mound. As of now, runners first and third, nobody out. Still in a conversation. The hitter, at least right now, is scheduled to be Drew Donaldson, and they still say no catch. Unbelievable. I'm sorry, but that was about as clear as day. That Musrock bubbled it on the transfer, and they said he didn't catch it to begin with. It's now runners first and third with nobody out for Drew Donaldson. First pitch. Runner goes. The first pitch is low, and the runner will steal second base as well. One ball, no strikes to count to Drew Donaldson after the single, quote-unquote, last man up. Ethan Vanderman appears to be just a little bit rattled out there on the mound. Struggling to throw strikes as appeared he got an out just a batter ago, but to no avail. The 2-0. On the ground, foul, third base side. Beyond the Doolers dugout. Runners first and third, nobody out. Top of the third inning. Drew Donaldson at the plate, flew out to center his first time up. The pitch from Vandermint, here's the 2-1. Inside, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 to Donaldson. Wearing number 15 for the Hoppers. Ethan Vanderman on the mound. The 3-1 on the way. And there's strike 2 called, and he fills out the count, does Vandy. It's now 3-2. Next pitch is fouled off, and it's 3-2 still to Donaldson. Brett Rowell back behind the plate. Vandermeer back up on the rubber. The next pitch is fouled off. Three and two to Donaldson. That pitch is on a line to left. That will fall. Grenz charging. Comes up throwing. That will keep only one run in. And the other hitter on third. One more run crosses the plate. 2-0. 2-0. Hoppers. An RBI single for Donaldson. Pitch is popped up beyond third. Curtis and Musrock over. It will be Jay Curtis to bring it in for out number one. One down for Fred Fernandez, who hit a homer his last time up. I'll update the score. It's 2-0 now. Fred Fernandez, the big right-handed hitting DH against Vandermeer. First pitch. Low in the dirt. Gets just far enough away from Brett Rowell for the runner to advance from first and second. So now it's second and third, one down for Fernandez. Ran Tachioka on third base, Drew Donaldson on second with one down. And Fred Fernandez at the plate. The 1-0. Outside, ball 2. 2-0 from Ethan Vandermeer. Fernandez back into the box. Bat on his shoulder. Vandermeer gets a sign from Rowell. Here comes the 2-0. That pitch is crushed to left center. Over goes Slaughter, and he can't get it. It falls. One run scores around third, and holding there is Donaldson. Into second is the hitter Fernandez, and that's probably an error on Sam Slaughter. One run scores on the error by Slaughter in center. And it's now 3-0. Hunter Hayden now to dig in. First pitch. Off the corner, ball 1. Vandermeer struggling to find the strike zone. So far, 20 pitches, 8 strikes for Ethan Vandermeer. Next pitch. A little bit low. And here's the thing is, it's not like Ethan Vandermeer is missing by a wide margin. He's just missing off the corners and not getting calls from home plate umpire Michael Holman. I'm not saying Mike is doing a bad job back there, but it's not like Ethan is wild. The 2-0. That pitch is in there for a strike, 2-1. Jude Donaldson on third. Fred Fernandez on second, 1 down. The pitch. In the air. Over goes Jenkinson to make the catch. That's out number 2. Jacob Dupps will now come up to hit. Dupps struck out looking his first time up in inning number 2. This batter's a huge one early on for the Doolers in Ethan Vandermeer. The pitch. Check swing on a pitch away. Ball 1, 1-0. If Ethan Vandermeer can somehow find a way to get Jacob Dupps out and limit the damage to an only 3-run deficit for the Doolers, that would probably be a fairly good result. Next pitch in there, strike 1 called. Considering all the adversity that Vandermeer and the Doolers have faced in this half inning alone, I would say an out here, and that's considered somewhat of a win. Next pitch. Off the corner, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to Tyler Dupps. The pitch from Vandermeer. And there's strike 2, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Ethan Vandermeer to Tyler Dupps. Runner second and third, 2 outs. Top of the third. The pitch from Vandermeer. Away, ball 3, and the count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here in the top of inning number 3, the Hoppers are leading your Doolers 3-0 the score. Here on this Father's Day evening. 3-2. Pulled down the line, foul, third base side. We'll do it again at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Vandermeer will walk behind the mound. And now back up on the rubber, looking to get a sign from Brett Rowell, his catcher. Here comes the payoff pitch. Inside, and it hits Dupps in the back. That's a hit by pitch, and the bases will be loaded now for Chase Harlan. Harlan flew out to center his first time up. Kentucky Wesleyan College in Williamsburg, Kentucky. Harlan can also pitch a little bit. Two-way player on this Hoppers roster. The pitch from Vandermeer. And there's strike 1. Oh and 1. Next one coming. Inside, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 from Vandy. Here it comes. Inside corner, called strike 2. That's a good spot. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. To Chase Harlan with the bases loaded and 2 down here in the third. This is a big batter for Vandermeer and the Doolers. Here comes the pitch. On a line to short, Musrock gobbles it up over to Jenkinson, and the inning is over. That's a big out on a hard hit ball to short, but Musrock has no issues with it. Flips over to his buddy Jenkinson at second, and the inning is over. After 2.5, the Hoppers up 3-0. Back with the bottom half after this on the Doolers Baseball Network. The 3-1 on the way. On the ground up the middle. And it is off the glove and booted by the second baseman Donaldson. Musrock will round first hard and hold after the ball trickled all the way to short left. An error on the second baseman, Jude Donaldson. And that will get Matt Jenkinson to the plate, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. His first time up, did Matt. We'll see if Musrock may be in motion here with 2 down. First pitch, high, ball 1. Doolers trail this one 3-0 to Hoptown here in the bottom of the 3rd from South Warren High School. Throw to first, Musrock dives back in safely. Jenkinson back into the box as Matt awaits the 1-0. Fouled off first base side, and it is 1 ball and 1 strike now. On the bases, Will Allen, your hitting coach, and first base coach, Kyle Schexnader. The Doolers manager is also your third base coach. The pitching coach is Jacob Snyder, currently in the dugout. 1-1 your count to Jenkinson. The pitch fouled straight back, and it's 1-2. One and two to Matt Jenkinson, with Jackson Musrock still on first. 2 down. Bottom of the 3rd, 3-0 Hoppers. The pitch on the ground is short. Over to second in time, Harlan the Donaldson, and that will end the 3rd. Still 3-0 Hoptown in front. We head to the 4th after this on the Doolers Baseball Network. Back in, top of the 4th, it will be 8-9-1 for the Hoppers, starting with the catcher, William Spear. Spear struck out swinging this first time up in the 2nd inning, now up again to lead off the 4th. First pitch from Ethan Vanderman on again for another inning of work. Here it comes. Hot ball's hit in the air to left. In comes Grenz to bring it down, and that's 1 pitch, 1 out for Vanderman here in the 4th. Sean Sullivan now up, drew a walk his first time up. Sullivan from Franklin College in Schererville, Indiana. First pitch inside, ball 1 from Vanderman. The 1-0. On the ground, foul. Third base side. 1-1. One ball, 1 strike from Ethan Vanderman to Sean Sullivan here in the 4th. The pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Next one in there, strike 3 called. Ethan Vandeman picks up a strikeout of the 9-hole hitter Sean Sullivan, and that's 2 down here in the 4th. Then Tachioka now up. Ran so far on the day. Walked in the first and had a single in the 3rd inning. As the first pitch is fouled off 0-1, I want to correct myself. Unfortunately for the Doolers and Jackson Musrock, I was too busy barking up the umpire tree on the play in the 3rd, the lead off the inning, in which Musrock got a glove on and couldn't bring it in, and that was indeed an error. Rightfully so, unfortunately. That's either a catch and a bobble on the transfer or an error because Musrock did have a hit his glove. So Tachioka a walk on the first to reach via the E6 in inning number 3. This is his 3rd plate appearance of the day. The leadoff man, wearing number 1 for the Hoppers. The pitch just misses. Ball 1-1-1. Ball 2, excuse me. It's 2-1 with nobody on, 2 down. Tachioka at the plate, Vandeman on the mound. The 2-1. In the air, Musrock out, Grenz in. Musrock brings it in to retire the inning. Nice play out there by Musrock, and the 4th is complete. Or the top half of the 4th is complete. Still 3-0 Hoppers. We'll be back after this on the Doolers Baseball Network. Would like to continue to thank our sponsors of 2022 Doolers Baseball. They include Heidi Barks Photography. You can find Heidi at Heidi Barks Photography on social media to check out her work. Contact her via email at HeidiBarksPhotos@gmail.com or call 270-999-7240 to schedule your next shoot. Also would like to thank Fresh Squeezed Goods. They offer customized laser cut and engraved. Up over to first. Not in time. Michael Holman says time and says both runners are out and Curtis is awarded second? Huh? I'm very confused. Did he call obstruction? That's the only thing that I think Micah could have called there is obstruction. So Jake Curtis, I think, has to go back to second, or at least that's what Mr. Holman was referring to. Okay, this is interesting. So yeah, Jake Curtis is back at second, and there's 2 down now, I believe. Because Mr. Holman back there said 2 outs. Yes, so 2 outs and Curtis on second. A double play of some sort for Evans. Castle swung on that pitch, and it's 0-1. I think that had to be what they called was obstruction, so Evans was out as well. I don't know. That's bizarre. Anyways, a double play for Jonathan Evans means Curtis is on second with 2 down now for Castle and Marcus behind in the count 0-1. The next pitch. Check swing. Did he go on that one? No swing, says C.J. Davis. One. Low and in the dirt, blocked nicely back there by Spear. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mark Castle, the hitter. Jay Curtis on second with 2 down. The pitch from Goodpaster. On a line to short. Picked nicely back there. And a throw over to first, but it's past the first baseman. In to score is Jake Curtis around second, headed to third. The throw is not made, and pulling in there safely is Mark Castle. The Doolers will take it. That's an error on the shortstop, Harlan. After he made a nice pick on the backhand to bring the ball in, he threw low and Brown couldn't pick it out. So an error on the shortstop, and the run will score. That is Curtis crossing the plate. It's now 3-1. I'll update your score in a second. As Jared Granz now into the box. The pitch is fouled off. Strike one. Owen won the count to the Cody, Wyoming native. And that pitch is in the air, foul. Yeah. 0-2 to Jared Granz, the pitch. Popped up in the air behind first. In comes the right fielder. Over goes the second baseman. And it is Donaldson to make it the catch. To retire the side, but after 4 complete, the Doolers get 1 back to make the score Hoppers 3, Franklin Doolers 1, as we head to the 5th after this on the Doolers Baseball Network. After ending the last half inning on a caught pop-up, Drew Donaldson will now make his way to the plate to start the top of the 5th. Still facing the first reliever out of the pen, Ethan Vandermint. First pitch on the ground to third. Curtis up with it, over to first. Castle brings it in. 1 pitch, 1 out. Ronald Brown, the first baseman, will now come up. First pitch to Brown. Away, ball 1. Next one is Vandermint's back on the rubber. Here comes the 1-0. And there's strike 1 called, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike to the big first baseman, Ronald Brown, from Incarnate Word University in Houston, Texas. The pitch, big swing and a miss. It's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the Hoppers' first baseman, and 3-hole hitter with Fred Fernandez, the DH, on deck. Nobody on, 1 out, top of the 5th. The pitch, Shattered bat to third, and that ball's foul. Wow, man. The bat landed all the way beyond shortstop Jackson Musrock, who will go pick it up. As, man, the barrel of the bat flew a long way out beyond short. He'll have to grab a new piece of lumber. And will do so from the dugout and now come back to the plate. Ronald Brown slowly making his way back to the box. Behind in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ethan Vandermint ahead. With 1 down, nobody on. Top of inning number 5. 3-1, Hoppers in front of the Doolers. The pitch. Swung on and missed on a beautiful breaking ball. Couldn't have thrown that any better, and Vandermint picks up a strikeout of Ronald Brown. Fred Fernandez now up the DH, a home run, and reached on an error for Fred today. The right-handed hitter. First pitch. And there's strike 1 on the corner. Oh, and 1, the next one. Strike 2. Fred Fernandez wanted time, and Michael Holman didn't give it to him. It's 0-2. Fred just stepped out of the box and gave Vandermint a free strike. 0-2 the count. The next pitch. Away. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Fred Fernandez. As Fred, a native of Maracaibo, Venezuela. The 1-2. In there, strike 3 called. Fred Fernandez gives Michael Holman a few words and heads back to the dugout. Vandermint ends his work in the 5th with 2 Ks. Head to the bottom half of inning number 5. Doolers still trailing by 2. 3-1 your score. We'll be right back with more Doolers baseball on the Doolers Baseball Network. Fred Fernandez now up the DH, a home run, and reached on an error for Fred today. The right-handed hitter. First pitch. And there's strike 1 on the corner. Oh, and 1, the next one. Strike 2. Fred Fernandez wanted time, and Michael Holman didn't give it to him. It's 0-2. Fred just stepped out of the box and gave Vandermint a free strike. 0-2 the count. The next pitch. Away. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Fred Fernandez. As Fred, a native of Maracaibo, Venezuela. The 1-2. In there, strike 3 called. Fred Fernandez gives Michael Holman a few words and heads back to the dugout. Vandermint ends his work in the 5th with 2 Ks. Head to the bottom half of inning number 5. Doolers still trailing by 2. 3-1 your score. We'll be right back with more Doolers baseball on the Doolers Baseball Network.